Greetings, fellow Larson loopers. Tiki here, and welcome to the Kickback Cafe, the show where we kick back, relax, and talk about anything but Disney. And guys, today is a very important day in the theme park industry. It is an annual tradition, an annual holiday, where we gather around our YouTube monitors. We gather around, we watch the man, the myth, the legend himself, Six Flags President and CEO Jim Reid Anderson announced the lineup for new Six Flags attractions for the next upcoming season. Hey, wait a minute. You're not Jim Reid Anderson? What'd you do with Jim Reid Anderson? So, I assume this is like a new Six Flags president or something, so I'm sure he'll introduce himself and be very courteous and stuff, just like Jim Reid Anderson always was. I'm sorry, just Jim Reid Anderson always set such a great tone for these videos where he was incredibly corny, he was incredibly over the top, but that's what I loved about the way that Jim Reid Anderson presented these things. So Six Flags 2017 editions. Well, my home park of Six Flags Discovery Kingdom hit the jackpot last season because, the Joker. Of course, there were others. I have to remember what other Six Flags park got a RMC. Like, I know Kentucky Kingdom got an RMC, but I don't remember if I don't actually think Kentucky Kingdom's affiliated with Six Flags anymore. I digress. So, Discovery Kingdom got an RMC in the Joker last season. Well, not last year, this year, 2016. This year, I'm expecting a very minimal edition, probably like a flat ride or something. If I'm being honest, I think Six Flags Discovery Kingdom has enough flat rides as it is. I actually think we have a very good collection of flat rides, a very well-rounded collection of flat rides. What I would personally like to see is, one, maybe some sort of cosmetic touch-ups and maybe perhaps a new animal area or something like that. Or I don't know, maybe a retheme of V2 to the Flash, because that's been in the works for a while. It's kind of a matter of if, not when, that's going to happen. I'd also like to see probably the thing that I'm crossing my fingers for the most with Discovery Kingdom. This season, we did get our 4D theater back after 9 years of being defunct. But it's playing the worst 4D film I've ever experienced, which is the Pacific Rim experience, or whatever the hell they call it. And this thing's pathetic because it's basically just clips from the movie Pacific Rim and not even edited all that well together, kind of hacked up, slapped together to form some sort of action scene. It's a mess. It's a fucking mess. Great America, California Great America, just opened their Mass Effect ride, which is another 4D experience. That one's actually been getting pretty rave reviews. People are really, really liking that one. So I'm kind of hoping that Discovery Kingdom steps its game up and delivers a new film in 4D theater that could really compete with Great America's Mass Effect ride. But with that in mind, I should probably close my windows so that my birds don't interrupt the noise. Give me one moment. Shut up, birds. I'm Jim Reid Anderson. Sorry, guys. Just give me one sec. Just don't want the birds getting in the way. All right. I'm back. What to expect from this announcement? I'm expecting at least 4 of the SNS Free Fly coasters, like Batman the Ride in Fiesta, Texas, and the Joker. Not this Joker. This is the better version of the Joker. And I'm expecting at least 2 or 3 Battle for Metropolis dark rides. I'd be shocked if that wasn't what Magic Mountain's getting, because they cleared out the action theater at Magic Mountain, the Batman and Robin show. They cleared all that out. That's a big chunk of space right in the middle of the DC themed area. I'd be shocked if they weren't getting a Justice League ride in 2017. I digress. I think a Justice League ride would be fucking amazing for Discovery Kingdom, since Discovery Kingdom's so aimed towards families to begin with, but maybe a couple years down the ride. I think eventually we're going to get the Justice League Dark Ride at Discovery Kingdom. I just don't think it's going to be this year because we already had a big investment with the Joker. I think eventually, ironically enough, a good place to put that would be the 4D theater. Except the only problem with that is that it's away from all the, because right now Discovery Kingdom's kind of making a really good kind of lineup of DC stuff because they have the Penguin, they have the Joker, and they have Superman all like kind of in the same area with each other. And whatever comes out of this new announcement, I'd be shocked if it wasn't something to kind of build onto that area and kind of build into the DC theme. So we'll see how it goes. I'm going to go ahead and press play on the video. Crossing my fingers. Big money for Discovery Kingdom. Give us a B&M flying coaster. That's all I'm saying. Give us a B&M flying coaster over Lake Chalmette, and I'll be happy. I can die happy at that point. Never going to happen in a million years. All I'm saying, I want a flying coaster for Discovery Kingdom. But I digress. Let's get this going, and let's say hi to not Jim Reid Anderson.
Hello, my name is John Duffy.
Hi, John Duffy.
President and CEO of Six Flags. Even though I've never been mistaken for our past president and new executive chairman, Jim Reid Anderson.
Oh, there he is. Yeah, there's the man, the myth, the legend.
Confusion about my identity. So let me be perfectly clear. I am not Lex Luthor.
Oh, God.
So don't go blaming me when civilization...
Again, corny as ever. I like it. Keeping up that tradition.
I am not Mr. Six.
What the hell? Oh, God.
So don't ask me to dance. Again,
I didn't even know
John
Mr.
Duffy,
Six was still part of Six
president and
Flags.
CEO of Six Flags.
Okay, what are we getting? What are we getting, John Duffy?
One important thing you need to know about me is that even though 2016 has been another great year for Six Flags,
Because of
I
this.
have big plans to make 2017 even better with something
Really?
new and exciting in every park.
Per usual.
I'm not just the mild-mannered executive you see before you. I am the incredible...
Oh, my
Six
God.
Flags.
No. Oh, God. Oh, Jesus Christ. I love how corny they always make these things. Okay. Yeah, Justice League. Yep. Justice League's in Magic Mountain. Not surprised at all.
Battle the villains. Save the city. There's only one person who can save Metropolis, and that person is you.
Not surprised at all.
America, Six Flags New England, and Six Flags over Texas will be on the highest.
Okay, Joker.
Evil villain and his incredible
Interesting that there's 4 Joker versions of this ride and only one Batman version.
On Six Flags' newest thrill. 2017 will be a big year for Wonder Woman, spinning her way to Six Flags Discovery Kingdom.
Wait, what?
With Wonder Woman, Lasso of Truth, and also flying high above the nation's capital at Six Flags America.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman, Lasso of Truth. That's definitely what's coming to Discovery Kingdom. They didn't mention anything about what land it's going into, but let's kind of check out what ride system they're going to have.
2017 will be a big year for Wonder Woman,
Lasso of Truth.
spinning her way to...
Okay, so it's going to be a giant Zamperella Frisbee ride. I'm okay with this. I think it's kind of pointless because we already have Tasmanian Devil, which is a Huss Frisbee ride. The only difference between the Tasmanian Devil and this is that the seats are on the outside of the Frisbee instead of the inside. Other than that, it's virtually the same ride as Tasmanian Devil, which is already one of the more popular flat rides at the park. Yeah, I'm going to go on a limb and say this is a little bit pointless. I mean, we already have a lot of thrill rides. Honestly, if they were going to add a flat ride, I would probably prefer they add like a more family-centric flat ride to the park, because I feel like with the Joker and other stuff, it's kind of getting a little too top heavy for thrills. We just had the Daredevil Chaos Coaster a couple of years ago, which was, of course, another Larson loop. Hopefully Six Flags is done with the Larson loops, because I haven't seen one mentioned yet. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm not thrilled about this. Not thrilled about this just because I think it's very repetitive, because we already have a Frisbee House ride. I don't necessarily think we need a Zamparella Frisbee. Now, having said that, this could kick ass. I mean, I've not really ridden this type of ride before. The closest to this type of ride that I've ridden is maybe something like Delirium at California's Great Adventure, which is also Fireball at the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk, same type of ride system. But again, that's where the seats are on the inside. So I am very curious to ride a flat ride like this where the seats are on the outside. That should provide a different experience. Also, it looks like your feet are dangling, whereas Taz, your feet are on the floor of the flat ride. So that's fun. I mean, like I said, I'll certainly do it. I'll certainly enjoy it, and I'll certainly welcome it. But I just don't think that it was the best. It's not what we needed. It's definitely like not anything we needed for this park right now. Having said that, let's talk about location for this thing. And again, I'm sorry, guys, if I'm kind of just drooling on about Discovery Kingdom, but that is my home park, so that is the park that I care the most about with this. Location for this thing. Obviously, with Wonder Woman, you want to get it in that DC area. You want to kind of get it in that sweet spot. Now, the issue with this, again, kind of another issue, is if they're like, they need to have a Batman ride there. I mean, I'm kind of like, I get that we didn't get an SNS Free Fly, because I think that an SNS Free Fly is coming soon, like maybe 2018, 2019, we'll be getting that in the form of a Batman the ride, because we need the Batman. We need Batman in Discovery Kingdom, because we're actually one of the few Six Flags parks that doesn't have a fucking Batman the ride, if you can believe that. We have a Joker, we have a Superman, and we even have the fucking Penguin, but we don't have Batman. So that needs to be remedied. Honestly, like, why couldn't they just call this damn thing Batman and just make up and, like give it a black and yellow color scheme? I know it's like a minor nitpick, but we need Batman in this park, man, especially with all the new DC editions that are happening. Anyways, gonna stop droning on. Kind of cross my fingers for a cool RMC, or I don't know. I don't know if there's gonna be an RMC this year. Let's see.
Six Flags Discovery Kingdom with Wonder Woman, Lasso of Truth, and also
very interesting too.
At Six Flags America.
Where is that gonna go?
Get ready for America's first rocket blast water coaster. Introducing the new Thunder Rapids, half roller coaster, half water slide.
That is not the first water blast roller coaster. I'm sorry.
Coming to the Great Escape, Bonsai Pipelines, and Six Flags St. Louis will take you to the edge of madness.
Hold on.
Spinsanity.
Okay, now you see, this is kind of the type of ride that I wish Discovery Kingdom would have gotten instead, because it's much more family centric. It's something that if I took my mom to the park, she could go on it. The little kids can go on it, and I feel like you could even theme that ride around Batman better. And maybe even takes up less space than the Lasso of Truth would, because those Frisbee things go up pretty high. So you're going to need like at least a relatively decent footprint for that thing. So yeah, I really wish that Discovery Kingdom would have gotten one of these instead.
Meanwhile, north of the border, LeBron will introduce the Titan, a massive high.
Yeah, again, essentially the same thing as what we're getting in Discovery Kingdom, I guess. So, hey, I guess this is like the Zamparella spins are like the new Larson loopers. Oh God, kill me now.
Flying pendulum that soars through the sky. And let Le Bon Temps Roulette, as the all-new Mardi Gras Festival and Parade, comes to Six Flags Fiesta, Texas, and Six Flags Mexico.
That's kind of cool.
In 2017, Six Flags opens the new
I would honestly kind of welcome something like that in Discovery Kingdom, just as a pass holder, a new event to experience. So I would honestly prefer something like that to what we're getting. All right.
Huastepec, Mexico, a world-class water park with rides and slides for the entire family. And Six Flags Mexico will introduce the country's first virtual reality coaster, the New Revolution. This changes everything. The VR phenomenon continues.
Also, thank you, Discovery Kingdom, for not doing a VR coaster year-round. We're getting one for Kong. We're getting Attack of the Gargoyles, whatever the fuck that is for Kong this year, which I will be in the park to document and to experience and give you guys my thoughts on after probably waiting in an hour and a half line with very poor operations for the VR. But that's one thing. I kind of feel like these VRs, like, it's not an upgrade. It's almost a downgrade, just given the operation nightmare that it is.
During Six Flags Fright Fest with the all-new Rage of the Gargoyles.
Yeah, Rage of the Gargoyles.
Demons of the world's first VR gaming coasters. Another incredible year for Six Flags.
That's it. That's seriously it. No RMCs, no original coasters. Wow. Oh, God. Color me underwhelmed.
Thanks to the heroic work of Six Flags Man.
People may be confused about my identity, but there's no confusion about the fact that 2017 will be the biggest year ever for new rides and attractions.
No, it's not. You lie.
From the secret underground lab, where my team and I will
You lie, sir.
making sure 2017 is the best year ever for our kids.
This guy is fucking Lex Luthor.
Remember, I am not Mr. Green, Mr. Clean, or Mr. Potato Head.
Or John Locke.
Mild-mannered CEO by day, and Six Flags man by night.
No.
Or you can just call me Jeff. See you at our park.
Okay. Yeah. Worst year ever. I mean, a few parks are getting the SNS free fly, which is cool. I've heard that's a really fun experience. Again, I kind of think that eventually Discovery Kingdom's going to get that in the form of Batman the Ride. Man, am I underwhelmed. I mean, I'm not just underwhelmed for my hometown park because, you know, it's a fun flat ride. I mean, again, I think that Discovery Kingdom has enough cool flat rides as it is. But again, I'm kind of crossing my fingers. Like with last year, basically, we got the 4D theater back in January of this year without any announcement in the 2016 video. So I'm kind of crossing my fingers that something like that they'll change out the Pacific Rim film into something better and that they're not announcing it now because they don't know what it's going to be yet. Kind of cross my fingers for that because that Pacific Rim film needs to go. Also crossing my fingers that we're going to get the Flash retheme of V2 eventually. Maybe even perhaps a well-rounded kind of like officially make that area into a DC area officially, like DC Universe and Magic Mountain. I mean, honestly, I think if Six Flags just took the time this season to just do that and do the retheme of the Flash, like retheme V2 to the Flash, you don't even need any new rides at that point. I would honestly just be happy with kind of putting up some facades, putting up some new theming to kind of make it a little bit more immersive. I mean, obviously, it's not going to be like Disney Universal styles of theming, but if you've been to DC Universe in Magic Mountain, I was actually fairly impressed with how that came together. Again, not Disney Universal level, but still pretty darn good for what it was. You had like Gotham City, Metropolis, like you had all the different cities of the DC Universe kind of like interconnected with each other, which was good. Yeah, so I hope that there's more new stuff to come for Discovery Kingdom down the line. Like I said, mostly crossing my fingers for a new film to replace Pacific Rim in the 4D theater, and also a retheme of V2 to the Flash. As for the other announcements, this is just such an underwhelming year because literally everything that was announced was an off-the-shelf clone. Every single thing. I mean, we had like the Justice League ride, clone. Cool, you know, it's cool that those parks are getting the Justice League ride, especially Magic Mountain, because Magic Mountain is in desperate need of something like that. Like, I can see the Justice League ride actually being one of the more popular rides in Magic Mountain now because it's like the one thing that families can do. You know, and like I say, the SNS free fly rides are cool, but it's like, it's still an off-the-shelf design. You know, it'd be great if, you know, hey, here's an idea. Take the SNS concept and actually build a second fucking track layout with it. but I digress. No RMC. I mean, what's going on with RMC? Is RMC like done with Six Flags now? Is their contract expired? Because I am shocked about that. I've actually heard that I've heard rumors about Mean Streak at Cedar Point getting the RMC treatment. So maybe that's it. Maybe RMC's just done with the Six Flags contract. I mean, no, like, it feels like forever since we've gotten like a new B&M of something. Or some like Full Throttle at Magic Mountain. I mean, nothing like that. No coasters that are like, oh, wow, that's cool. Like, even if that's not at my home park and I can't ride it right away, that looks awesome. No, nothing like that. It's just like all we got was flat rides, SNS Free Fly, and fucking Justice League. I am so underwhelmed. Oh, man. Yeah, not the strongest year for Six Flags and not the best year for me to start with these reaction videos. Hopefully next year is better. Hopefully this year they're just kind of biding their time and maybe saving a little money by not doing too many big additions. Did I hear right? Six Flags Mexico is getting a whole new water park, which is kind of cool for them. Again, like decent things for parks, you know, but nothing that's really groundbreaking, nothing that's show-stopping at all in the slightest. And they even have the gall to lie and say like, oh yeah, this is totally the first water blast roller coaster. No, I saw that shit on the Travel Channel at like Schlitterbaum like 8 years ago, man. It's nothing new. It's cool. Like, don't get me wrong. I'd like to ride a slide like that. I'm not a big water slide guy in general, but if there was something like that in, let's say, Hurricane Harbor, yeah, sure, I would do that in Magic Mountains Hurricane Harbor. I would do that. I would go to Hurricane Harbor just to do it. But, yeah, just nothing. Just a whole lot of nothing. I mean, congrats to the parks that are getting the Justice League ride. And I've even heard a little bit of mixed things about the SNS Free Fly. It's not as maligned as something like Green Lantern at Magic Mountain is, but it's not like a universal like crowd pleaser either. It's not anything that people are just kind of clamoring for at their park. It's just kind of something that is quick, efficient, cheap to build, and takes up a small footprint, and yet you can still call it a coaster. The Larson loops are done, so that's kind of good. It's refreshing to not see a ton of Larson loops in these announcements this year. Yeah, other than that, guys, I'm pretty underwhelmed with this announcement overall. Like I said, don't want to repeat myself, but hoping that this isn't the extent of the Discovery Kingdom announcements, hoping that we're going to get a new film in the Pacific Rim Theater sometime soon. Cross my fingers for that. Wonder Woman Lasso of Truth, again, I'll ride it, I'll enjoy it, I'll welcome it when it comes, but considering that we already have Tasmanian Devil, it just doesn't seem like we need something like that at all. I mean, we already have Tasmanian Devil, we already have stuff like Hammerhead, Daredevil Chaos Coaster, that are kind of ticks in the box of the thrill ride, the flat ride thrill ride. So even though we don't need it, it'll be a fun addition. I'm curious to see where it goes within the confines of the park, because honestly, I'm kind of wrapping my mind around where they could actually put it within the DC area that they have going on. There's a little bit of room between the Joker and V2, but that'd be a tight squeeze. There's a little bit of room between the Joker and Superman. That's not as tight of a squeeze, but still, it'd be interesting if they could put it between Superman and Joker, because that kind of be like the end of the area, and you'd have like a nice little landmark at the end instead of just like, oh, you walk up past Superman and there's nothing. And of course they have the go-kart track there, which I think will get taken out eventually, but that's probably when they're going to add the I would say either the Justice League ride might, if they take that out, maybe take out some other stuff in the surrounding areas. They could add the Justice League Dark Ride. More likely, I would say, is the Batman, the ride, SNS Free Fly is going to go into that spot eventually. But again, this is all hypothetical. This is not for 2017, because 2017, we were getting a Zamparella spinner, which, yeah, again, I've never been on one of them, so it's kind of cool, that I guess that's like a bonus for me. It's not like I mean, it's not like we got like a roundup or something, or a tilt-a-whirl, or, you know, something that something that you've been on a million times before. Like, no, it will be a new flat ride for me, so that's cool. But just in the grand context of the park, it doesn't need it. It just does not need it. I mean, Daredevil was launched 2 years ago. That's the park's Larson Looper. And Daredevil is like practically always a walk-on now. So it's like we don't need it. We don't need any of these big thrilling flat rides. Again, like if anything, give us a more family-centric flat ride. But I digress. That's all I got, man. Just really, really disappointing. Just really underwhelming. So hopefully 2018 will be better. That's all I can say. So thank you guys for joining us. And can we get Jim Reid Anderson back? Because when Jim Reid Anderson was in charge, at least it wasn't this underwhelming. Come on, Jim. We need you. We need you, buddy.